Is it okay now? I think.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes. We can start.
So a very warm good morning to you all. Welcome to the third day of the short-term training program on outcome-based education. Today, we have two sessions, one in the morning on outcome-based education curriculum design, and in the afternoon, we will have curriculum implementation. So today we are very fortunate to have an eminent speaker and an expert in the country, Dr. Urmila Khar. Dr. Urmila Khar has completed her BE degree from Regional Engineering College, Silchar in Electrical Engineering and ME and PhD from Jadavpur University. Ever since April 2008, she is working as Professor of Curriculum Development Center at the National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, Calcutta. She has also worked as academic coordinator till 2017. Currently, she is also the professor and head of the Education and Management Department at NITTR, Kolkata. Her area of interest includes nonlinear system dynamics and control physics logic control, MATLAB and its application in engineering, engineering education and accreditation, design and implementation of technical curriculum, competency-based curriculum design, design and implementation of outcome-based curriculum, effective teaching and students' performance evaluation. She jointly developed and offered MOOC on capstone project for SWAYAM. She has received the Best Paper Award in Corps of Electrical and Mechanical Engineers medal by the Institution of Engineers. She has also won the Best Technical Paper Award, 34th and 35th National System Conference. She of national and national. Madam, I welcome you to this session.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, should we start now?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. Thank you, and very good morning to everyone, those who are connected with me now, right? And it's surely, I would have got a very glad, I'm happy if we are in contact mode and I will be with you, then that situation will again come. But now we are connected through this wave, and let's have a connection discussion on the topic which was given to me. I think, okay, let me open my presentation and then we will talk, right? Okay, I think it is visible.
It is visible, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Right. So it is the first topic given to me. I'm very happy that it's an AICT sponsored short-term training program that you are organizing. And this is the phase 2 or phase 3. It's the third phase or second phase?
It is the third phase, ma'am.
Third phase. Okay, right. So it's a third phase that you are doing this, right? And the topic given to me is again very interesting topic, because we design curriculum. The faculties are involved in the process of developing the curriculum. Sometimes means complete curriculum, sometimes part curriculum, because when we are dealing a particular subject, maybe we got that opportunity to give feedback on when the curriculum revision will be done. The faculties are asked and give their feedback so that that can be improved. The development can accommodate the modifications, right? But what is special about this outcome-based curriculum? There must be something special, not the conventional curriculum. I'll be just sharing with you the concept of designing outcome-based curriculum and development stages also, right? Along with a little bit of connectivity with the conventional curriculum design. And this is kept first up. And as given me, the second topic is about the implementation of curriculum, this outcome-based curriculum, how it need to be implemented, that part, right? Now, I am very sure that all of you know OBE, that is outcome-based education. Anybody here? Okay, can I talk with them or just give a lecture? Can they interact?
You can also interact, ma'am.
Okay, right. Because otherwise it seems to be it's one way only, no? Only talk and talk, listen from other side only. So,
Yes.
yes. You one or two can be. You can talk also if you have some question. Please put your questions also either at the end of the presentation or in between if you feel very urgent, right?
Madam, they will be putting the questions in the chat box. So I will put those questions. Okay, fine.
Right. Very good. So we all, the teachers, we know about today the outcome-based education. This is not a now unknown thing. Outcome-based education is known either through NBN, that is accreditation process, it is known to you, or through the curriculum with to you, it has mentioned the term. So outcome-based education, this term is now it's very clear. The concept is clear to the faculty members. I consider that. But let us just go through it. I will give you a definition which suitable today's scenario. Okay. Education is a systemic approach to academic institution restructuring. Okay, so it is for restructuring the academic institution that involves many aspects affecting learning achievements. So there will be several aspects which will be affected by this outcome-based education, because it is restructuring the institution. But why? Those aspects includes planning. So we need to change our planning, leadership, belief system, community involvement, climate, curriculum alignment, instructional delivery, assessment, as well as reporting. And as you are going through the accreditation process, you know, reporting is also so much of important. How to means collect evidences and keep the evidence in a reporting form. These are the things which are going to be changed because we want to change institution, right? This definition we collected, and this is not today's definition. This is the definition given by Wright in 1985. Again, as you know, when we talk about outcome-based education, we used to say that, yes, father of outcome-based education, whom we consider to be the father of outcome-based education, is William Spady, because it is his concept actually we got. Though outcome-based education started very early in 1915 yearly in the field of agriculture, but that time it was not spread in other cases, okay, and it was even not known to the academic institutes or the persons heading the academics. After that we got it, okay. So it's after 40 years actually this is the concept revived, and we got this concept of that. You can see in 1987 the Spady, he published something, and from there basically we got the concept of outcome-based education after Spady only. That's why William Spady is considered to be the father of outcome-based education. Now, what he has written is outcome-based education is perhaps the most exciting and potentially successful curricular innovation in education. Why? Because it requires that a future-driven curriculum focus to be developed, and it demands performance assessment. Both the things are very, very important. One is it is the futuristic curriculum, future-driven curriculum, right? And the other point is it considered or it demands performance assessment. It's not that, okay, I know the thing. Knowing is not considered here. Yes, you know is very good, but show it by doing. So apply your knowing in doing. And this concept is actually considered in outcome-based education. So two most important thing we can note here. One is it is futuristic. So it is not limited to only the present situation, but it will look forward from the future, what will be there, and based on the future demand, maybe after today's scenario, it is 5 years, what will happen after 5 years. So considering that thought, the curriculum is designed, and number two, always it is evaluated based on the performance assessment, right? So these are the 2 points which we need to consider while considering the outcome-based education or while going for designing outcome-based education. So outcome-based education, we know 3 basic questions are addressed by outcome-based education. What are the 3 basic questions? Because based on those questions only, we also going to design the curriculum, implement the curriculum. So the first question which is asked by this outcome-based education is, we want the students to have or able to do. So that is the first question. What we want? What as a teacher we want? Okay. So based on that, second question, then if we know what we want from our students, then how we are going to help them? That is, how we are going to help them to achieve that thing, right? So this comes the how we will be teaching them or how they will be learning, right? And then third point, since it is a performance assessment is the question thing which we need to do, that's why then how will we know whether they have achieved it? So we need to know that yes, Have they achieved it or no, not yet achieved? I have to do something more because they need to achieve the thing. They must show it, not just learn, but to show it also. So these are the three questions, key questions, which OBE addresses, right? Now we can see that then we need to state. So emphasis, OBE emphasize on, because these three things are basically satisfying the three big key questions. So first is we need to state what we want our students to be able to do at the end of the program. So that is the first point we need to answer. State. Then number two, next is we need to design learning teaching process to facilitate student to do what they are expected to do. So then comes our part. That is how we are going to design the teaching learning process, because that has to be there so that the student will be able to do what we wanted them to do. And the third part is, next, we need to assess the students whether they are able to do what they are expected to do. So you can, it's very, very logically written. Okay. Now, if you consider the first part, you can see, then we need to document what our statements only. So what we are stating about what student will be able to do, that part we need to document. So it is documented. And next, arrow is here, you can see. Now, this is not a document only, because once whatever we have documented, we have to make it active. So document must be made active through the process. This is about the education and what is the logic that we will be developing one innovative curriculum supporting outcome-based education. Where will be the innovation and how it differs from conventional curriculum, right? Now, thing is, when we are going to state our statement about or regarding what student will be able to do, we are documenting it. There I am writing, yes, my student will be able to do this, able to do this, able to do this. Now that set of means writing or statement, we call this as, we consider this as enabling outcome, which I know after the process or implementation of the curriculum, the student will be able to do. So those statements are in the form of enabling outcomes. But once the process implemented, it should convert into exit outcomes. So we are doing it as a teacher, we are doing it. But the thing is, finally, it has to be transformed into exit outcomes, which will give us that performance, okay, student performance, which we are going to actually assess, right? So it is a process of converting, transforming, enabling outcomes to exit outcomes, right? And as a teacher, we should know that the education always ensures that the learners would achieve predefined outcomes for the program in which they are enrolled. Now, I have marked these 2 points mainly. Why? One is outcomes are these enabling outcomes. That is predefined and which is known by all of us, means all the stakeholders of curriculum. It includes primarily the student, then the teacher, then the parents, then the administrator of the institute, then the curriculum developer, and to the community, to the society. So this is an open document. You can consider this to be an open document. Any stakeholder can see it if they wish it to look at, right? It is predefined. But the thing is that we need to ensure that learner will be able to achieve it. So that guarantee we are giving through the implementation of curriculum. So curriculum is keeping this list, but through the implementation, we are going to ensure the outcomes, because then that will be converted to or transformed into exit outcomes. Now coming to the curriculum, I know that you all know what is curriculum. But yes, when I am just sharing with you that outcome-based curriculum, how to develop it, then I must go through it. That curriculum is a common way of designing, and that common way is also inbuilt in this innovative curriculum design. Only the approach is innovative. Well, curriculum is the result, but the approach, how we will be designing it, is innovative, right? So curriculum, we know. What is curriculum? We all know that curriculum is a document, written document. But that written document contains several informations. What are informations? You can see why to learn must be written there, because the must know why they are learning. So curriculum must have some aim or objectives written in the document. What to learn must also be there, because all stakeholders must know what we are teaching through this curriculum, right? So we'll have the course, all course details will be there inside the curriculum. We must also know when to learn, when, at what stage, whether it is in the first sem or in the third sem, how it is distributed, and that information also needed by all the stakeholders of curriculum. That's why curriculum will also document this structure, which will give you that when, what, right? Then it will also be noted that curriculum will contain where situation, or it is in the laboratory, or you have to go for a visit to see industry, or it is in a flexible mode. Someone can do it in online also. So all those informations must also be very well clearly written in the curriculum document. Okay, so scheme of study must be clearly given in the curriculum document. Then comes how to learn. Now, how to learn means it is giving guideline that how teachers will be teaching, right? A part of this, how we will be doing it, whether we will be doing it as a seminar, we'll be doing it like a project, or a project, or no, they have to study by themselves, self-study, and then give a presentation. So the methodology of implementation of curriculum must also be documented in the curriculum. So study and assessment schemes will be very well written in the curriculum document. Finally, curriculum must also contain with whom we should learn. That indicates the resource persons or learning resources. Sometimes it is self-learning. So with the self-learning, what are the resources that students should use? That also to be written in the curriculum document. So normally what we see is syllabus, right? But curriculum is the biggest one. Syllabus is a part of that. We say syllabus is a subset of curriculum document where it contains some parts of the curriculum, but not all the parts, right? But this is what a curriculum must contain. Now coming to the development process. Now see, I will be now telling you about the conventional process. What is conventionally we do, right? So curriculum, when a new program you are going to open, we need to prepare the curriculum, right? We need to design the curriculum. We call it a design, then we call the development, because first is the design approach, how we are going to do it. Then it comes the content of that. So it is the development. Now, curriculum development process has got stages as well as phases. When you think of that, I'm going to, or my institute will open a new discipline or a new program, then first of all, we must study. We are going to open it. That why is very, very needed thing, essential thing, because we have to see that we are going to open a new program. What is the requirement in the society of that program? Okay. Suppose I feel that program, but no is there. So we have to remember that when we are going to open it, before that we have to study something. Study of what? Studying the requirement of that program. Because after, if it is a degree institute, after 4 years, there will be pass outs whom we should get some employment, or who must get some employment. Okay, some jobs to be there. So we have to study the job, okay, job requirement, right? So with the basis of, on the basis of that study only, decision to be taken whether we are going to open a new discipline or new program or not, right? So that is the first stage of curriculum development, which we call need analysis. Any program we are going to open, we must consider that, yes, what is the requirement? What is the need? That survey to be done, need to be analyzed. And when we are, we are satisfied that, yes, there is a job, guaranteed job. If my students passing out after 4 years, they will be getting the job, I'm sure. Then only we will be taking this risk of opening a new program or new discipline. Next part is design, as I said. Once the decision has been taken by the authority that on the basis of need analysis, that yes, we are going to open it, then we design the curriculum. Okay? Designing, after design means what are the components. I'll be talking about design in this process. Okay, how we are going to do it, this how to be decided. Then we will be doing what are the things to be accommodated. So the process, how we are going to design it, or the approach by which we are going to design it, that varies. That varies basically the curriculum design. Okay. So in this case, when we will be discussing about outcome-based curriculum, then you will see that there is innovation in the process of design, right? Or we say that design approach is innovative. Then next, after we decided what will be our approach or how we are going to develop the curriculum, we will be developing and, yes, implementing the curriculum. So once design is confirmed, we are going to implement it. Okay, so how and what are the things done? Then we are going to implement the curriculum. Once implemented, you know that, okay, if it is a degree program, after 4 years, the student will be passing out, and your training and placement cell will have the data that how many of them are they got job, or what is the status of the pass out students, and then look at, discuss with the industry, discuss with your student, and get the feedback about the curriculum. That gives the final stage, which is called curriculum evaluation. So curriculum evaluation is done again from the stakeholders of the curriculum. One of the biggest stakeholder is here the industry or academic institutes where your students are going to join, either getting employed or they are going for pursuing their higher studies, right? From those, you need to take a feedback along with the pass out students, along with the teachers, those who are basically the curriculum implementer. So based on that, curriculum must be evaluated. And then the process is review it, modify wherever is needed, add which are essential, delete which are obsolete. So that is the process we call curriculum evaluation and then revision, right? If I say that phases, we have 3 phases. First phase we call the preparation phase. Preparation phase is nothing but analyze the requirement. Okay, so that gives for whom, whether we need 120 students there, or let us try it with 30 students only. So all those things we will be deciding in this stage, right, based on the requirement. Then second phase is actually considering the design and implementation, both of them, and that we call the phase, because now the curriculum is designed and implemented, process is already started. The last phase we call the improvement phase, where we go for curriculum evaluation. So this is conventional curriculum design stages and phases, and this is also followed when we will be designing the outcome-based curriculum. Only thing here you can note that yes, this need analysis part we are not going to do now, because need is already decided by our country. Okay, need decided when we signed the Washington Accord, when we signed as a member in the Washington Accord, already opted for something. So need is already analyzed, and we got that information from the our academic leaders that yes, outcome-based curriculum is needed for us, right? So for us, this need analysis task is not there. We will be doing the development process starting from the design part, right? So coming to the what is special about outcome-based curriculum, right? Now we know that today we are handling 21st century learners. So when we are handling 21st century learners, we need to know also that yes, there is transformation in the education system from traditional to outcome based. Okay, so this transformation is already accepted by all of us. this transformation is needed for our 21st century learners, right? And we also know because of this transformation, there is a paradigm shift or paradigm change from or change in the process of teaching learning mainly. And this process change is, we say it, from 3 R's to 4 C's. The 3 R's, which were in the conventional system, 3 R's means reading, writing, and arithmetic. Okay, but today for 21st century learners, it is essential that teaching learning system should be designed based on 4 C's. So our curriculum must also give focus on not only on 3 R's, forget about that part, but we should focus on developing 4 C's or involving 4 C's in the process. Now, can you guess what are the 4 C's? Can anybody guess what are the 4 C's? I know that you know it. Okay, let me give you a picture of it will help you. The 4 C's are this. If I look at this picture, it's happening. 4 C's. C.
Okay.
It is starting with C. That's why 4 C's.
Okay. Cognitive, is that cognitive learning skills? No.
First C is this C. Can you guess what it is?
Communication.
Very right. Thank you. So it is communication. Then I'm going for this one. It's our brain is very active here. I wanted to just indicate it. Okay. So our brain is active when we think. So what kind of thinking then? Yes, it's
Cognitive.
cognitive thinking, and we are not cognitive thinking, but this C is little bit different. When you think very
Critical thinking.
right, thank you. So it is critical thinking. So it's communication, critical thinking. Then coming this working together, and the C for that.
Collaboration, ma'am.
Very right. Oh, so thank you. So it is another C is collaboration, and this is written here. Someone already answered. That's the creativity. Okay, it's written here, creativity. So the 4 C's we need to remember that yes, in the process of outcome-based education, we have to remember when we are going for designing outcome-based curriculum, we need to keep the part of that to be these 4 C's. So one is communication, another is critical thinking, another is collaboration and creativity. So we need to give our students the opportunity or the scope for developing these 4 things in the process of implementation of curriculum. But implementation will be possible only when this is a part of the curriculum design. If we are unable to put the things inside the curriculum, then it will not be possible to implement. Or some of us will be doing, some of us will not be doing, because we follow the curriculum. For a teacher, curriculum is a guideline, how to teach, what to teach. So that's why this is very, very essential that these 4 C's must be reflected in the curriculum document, right? And another very important thing, the idea we got it from Biggs in 1999, that alignment of everything, alignment of in the curriculum we are writing what the student will be able to do, that is their learning outcomes. Then we are writing in the curriculum how to teach, how to learn, and we are going to implement it. So alignment with the outcome, our teaching learning process. And then we told that, yes, Paddy told the outcomes must be, performance assessment must be there, and we must ensure it. That indicate the assessment method, tool, whatever we are going to use for assessing the performance of our student must also be aligned. When these three are aligned, we call it constructive alignment. So we should remember that our curriculum must reflect this constructive alignment. Suppose we have kept very good learning outcomes in the curriculum, and we are also trying as a faculty, we are trying to give our best. So our process is also, teaching learning process is also very good, connected with the outcome. But our assessment done is not at all aligned. There is again the end term exam only. Continuous assessments are limited. I cannot assess all the outcomes because we are not getting a scope to assess it. And I am unable to assess also because this classroom assessment has got no credit for the students. So students are not at all interested in that. Okay. So that indicates that assessment is not aligned. So when this is happening, then it is not possible that you will be able to implement outcome-based curriculum, right? So constructive alignment has to be there in the curriculum, and then implementation of curriculum. So is the curriculum design approach different? Yes, certainly it is different. And how to develop outcome-based curriculum, that is then question, because what are the things to be there, we have already now know that yes, we have to implement outcome-based education. We also know that we have to develop an innovative curriculum, and now we also know that yes, the curriculum development process is a little bit different, and this process approach is different, right? Now, I know this figure is known to you. Okay, all of you have gone through the NBA process, but this figure is again important for developing the outcome-based curriculum. This figure is, I think, known to you. The beauty of the figure is the rooftop is nothing but the vision and mission statements of the institute. Then it is coming the vision and mission statement of the department which are offering the program. Then program educational objectives, then program outcome, program specific outcomes. And below that, the pillars. Okay, and you can see very well the pillars are nothing but we are there. We, the teachers, are there with our course. Okay, so course outcomes are there, right? For the number of courses, several. In a degree course, it can go up to 40, 35 to 40 courses are there. And the laboratories also along with that. So all those outcomes are basically the pillar on which we have developed this building. So when it is developed, the development thought was from top to bottom. Okay, so thinking process was top to bottom, but attainment process is bottom up. So we are the base, the teachers are the base from which this attainment should start. So we have to remember that when we are going to, as the thoughts are top to bottom, when we are going to design the curriculum, that concept has to be reflected in the process of curriculum design. So that's why this approach is innovative, because it is not from the course we will be thinking. We will be thinking from the top. What is the ultimate goal of our program? Okay, what is the ultimate goal of our program? Because it is outcome-based education, and outcome-based curriculum is, we call it futuristic curriculum or future-driven curriculum. That's why we have to look at the future and take the initial thing which you want your student will be after a few years, when they will be established them as an engineer, as a supervisor, or as something researcher, right? Or as an very good teacher, right? So we need to see that what are the things I need to develop in my student, which will make him that. Taking that point into consideration, we will be designing the curriculum. So in the curriculum design, we are going to reflect this thought, which is reflected in this diagram, and we will be doing the design based on this only. Okay, so that when we will be teaching natural, it is a natural way, this will act as pillar, and that will help us for attainment of this. And when this is achieved, this will help us very easily the attainment of this. So this interlink will be possible only when we develop it from the top to bottom, right? So this is the innovation which we will be handling. So I will, this is, don't take it as sample, but I have written it as a sample, but for my explanation, some examples are need to be there. That's why I have taken a particular sample, but it is not at all from any college or anybody. That's created sample. Okay. So suppose it is a program of BTech Electrical Engineering, and the vision is with me. That is at the rooftop, the vision statement of the institute. So I got a vision from that institute, right? Similarly, you also have your own vision. According to your vision, you have written the mission statements. Missions are nothing but it indicates the path, how to reach the vision, how to achieve the vision. And we know vision, it has got a time also, like 10 years vision, 15 years vision, like that. So 10 years vision is there. So within 10 years, I have to achieve, or we have to achieve, as from the point of view of institute. An institute has to achieve that vision. That's why some path directions are decided, because time is fixed, 10 years. So what we'll be writing, we are going to write the mission statements. So 3 missions written in order to achieve the particular vision considered, right? So nothing but which will be making it possible to achieve the vision. Then it's responsibility of the departments to take care of the institute's vision, right? So what is reflected in the institute vision, that will be shared by the departments which are inside the institute. So it's not exactly the same thing, but some department can take some responsibility, may not take all, but some other department can take that. In that way, all what is means what is aimed, dreamed in the institute vision must be satisfied through the departmental visions. So being a department of electrical, the vision statement is written. And again, to achieve the vision, because this is also time limitation is there, 10 years vision. So mission statements, the path, actions to be there, time to be divided. That's why the mission statements are also considered. Any part of the vision should not be missed through this mission statement. Otherwise, that part will not be achieved, right? So department visions are also considered. Now you know, as being an institute of means accredited institute, you have your program educational objectives. Now we know that these program educational objectives are not outcomes. It is specifically told it is program educational objectives. That's why this is objective, not achieved, not attended, not attainment, not possible with when the students are in the institute. That's why the term used is objective. The difference between objective and outcome is that objectives are intended and outcomes are achieved. But these program educational objectives are futuristic, because this is after passing out plus 4 to 5 years, right? When either they will be doing their master's course and passed out, going for research, or they are already established them as an engineer, or they are doing some research work somewhere. So, considering those situations, this is written. So that's why it is futuristic, and that's why nobody can tell it as an outcome, because this is not tested, this is intended. So the term used here is objective, program educational objectives. So the institute has got 4 educational objectives, and these are like this, right? And these educational objectives also must be actually connected with the vision and mission which we have written for the departments, right? So no part of that to be missed through the educational objectives, right? So once the program educational objectives are written, I know that program outcomes are now not to be written by the individual institute, because this is already given, suggested by MBA, and we know this 12 for the degree, and now it is 7 for the diploma institutes are there, right? And yes, these are known to us. The statements are already available, and you know what is that statements, and you also know the interpretation of each statement. But the thing is, this is outcome. This is outcome means at the end of the 4 years of study or 3 years of diploma, the student must be able to do all those things. And when you are giving him or her a certificate of passing, you must ensure that these are already achieved by the student, or attainment of these outcomes already checked, already assessed, right? So this is the thing. So difference with objective is, objectives are intended, but outcomes are achieved and ensured by testing or assessment, right? Now I think we will have a break here. Its time is what, 56 or something like that. It was given 11 a.m. for the first part, right? So if any...
Sure, ma'am. We will have a, yes, ma'am. We will have a break.
Between, if you have any question with you, you can share. Any question here? Anybody is having question, or Manoj sir, if you have something in your chat box, you can convey.
In the chat box, so far we don't have any questions. Participants, okay. You can unmute your mic if you want, and you can ask.
Right.
Hello, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, madam. Like right now, you are talking about outcome-based education and all.
Yes.
I am very much interested to know about the implementation techniques of
Yes.
content beyond syllabus activities.
Yes.
Like we are from affiliated institutions.
Yes, yes, yes.
We
yes.
have some restrictions on syllabuses and schedules. So if you could elaborate more on the practices, best practices to implement content beyond syllabus activities, that could be great.
Right. So with your part is also kept in the afternoon session, I think, implementation part. Okay. But the thing here, I can tell you, when you are going to design your own curriculum in outcome-based education, then there will be nothing beyond the syllabus. Right? That thing we will be discussing here. But now, at this point, when your curriculum is not outcome-based, right? You are a little bit of means conventional curriculum. You have decided some outcome out of that, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
then you have this gap. Curriculum gap is there, which you have already determined.
Yes.
And for that gap, you have to go content beyond curriculum, because
Yes.
the gap is there. So in your case, the thing is, you have to analyze your existing curriculum, as well as the process is showing how to analyze the this PO, POA, etc. This will help you to find out the gap between the conventional curriculum which you are handling and what should be the ideal curriculum. So that gap you have to find out and then do something, and that do something will be content beyond your curriculum, right?
All right,
that
madam.
is the
Any best practices?
Yes, all practices I'll try within the time limit. I'll be trying to share with you, at least give some view of that, right?
All right, madam. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Okay, any more question? Still 1 minute according to my mobile. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, you'll have a bit now. I think Dr. Manoj, no
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
Yes. So can we stop here?
Yes, ma'am. We'll have a break for 15 minutes. And shall we join back at 11:15, ma'am?
So I'll go out and join again?
Yes, ma'am. Anyway, whatever you prefer, ma'am.
No, I can keep it. I can keep it also open.
Yes.
Unmute myself and my video.
Yes,
Will
ma'am.
it do? Okay.
It is fine. It is.
Okay. Thank you very much then. Thank you.
So, participants, please note, we will be joining back exactly at 11:15, sharp 11:15.
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Start?
Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, we can start. Participants are already there?
Yes, ma'am. 59 of them are there.
Okay, okay. So we can start it, right? Okay, welcome back, everyone. So next now we'll be going for steps for designing outcome-based curriculum. And as I told already, that the design is innovative, and we will not see what are the courses that we are going to include in the curriculum itself, but instead of that, we will be looking at what is our vision and mission, and what are the outcome or objectives that we have kept for in my program, which we are going to offer, right? So it is not that, number one, normally conventionally what we do, suppose I want to design curriculum for electrical engineering or civil engineering or say any other, right? What we see, Normally, our reference point is, okay, what are the institutes that they are actually offering those programs? Let's see what are the curriculum they are going to do. So going through that, analyzing that, we collect that data, analyze that, and then decide, okay, this is good, this part is good, and then let us do it. And again, we have the AICTE. So we have a guideline from AICTE also. We have to obey that AICTE guideline. Normal in our in West Bengal, we have seen the Technological University, they have opted everything, whatever is written in the AICTE curriculum, only a very little bit of optional things and some flexibility, which they have accommodated in the system. But when we get autonomy, being an institute with autonomy in academic, autonomy in financial, if we have that autonomy, then we can think for our own student, right? We'll be looking at all reference good institutes curriculum, but while designing the curriculum, we will have a logical thinking how and what we are going to accommodate inside the curriculum document, right? So let's see the steps. Going for the step 1, which we are going to consider, is, I told, since outcome-based curriculum is futuristic curriculum or future-driven curriculum, and the future is reflected for any program through the program educational objectives. What do you mean by program educational objectives? These are the 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 4, sometimes 3, sometimes even 5 objectives we write. And this has to be written looking at future of our students. Future means after passing out plus 4 to 5 years of time, where our student will be, what will be their status as a researcher, as an academician, as a teacher, or as a company, a head, or a leader, or a group leader, team leader in any kind of industry. So considering that part, we write our, or we decide our educational objectives. So we will be looking at that objective because that is the future of our student. And if we consider that, then the curriculum will be futuristic curriculum, right? So suppose I'm writing in my program educational objective, yes, my student will be, means they will be designing products, etc., kind of thing. In mechanical engineering, suppose I have written the program educational objectives. That means I'm expecting after passing out plus 4 to 5 years, my student will be at a position in some industry where they will be able to design products. Right, very right. Then what I'm doing in my institute, am I giving them some opportunity, some scope to do that? Or I'm just teaching theory and some lab, and then I'm expecting they will be product designer. Then it is not possible. Then in my system, there must be the scopes are there where from maybe second year, maybe first year, the student will be given an opportunity. They can work together, they can design small things, and as time passes, they will be enhancing or improving their product category or the product design, so that then it is possible that when they will be working in an industry, they can be the head of the designer section also. So they need to go through the process in the institute they should have a basic idea about that. Then only I can write that kind of objective, right? Then the first thing which I am going to consider is my program educational objectives, or PEO. And as well as parallelly, we have the program outcomes also, which is the expectations when my student will be passing out, that is after 3 years of diploma or 4 years of degree. Those attributes will be in my student. And this is guided by NBA. So I have to consider that. Now you can see always, if POs are at the level of 4 years, then plus 4 years PO must be higher than that. So here, if they are doing something, they will be doing something more at the PEO level, because there is a time gap of 4 to 5 years, and then they must have some more skill expected, that they will be reaching to some other level, right? So these 2 points I have to consider first while designing the curriculum. So I'll be considering my PEOs for the program. Suppose it is electrical engineering, so PEO of that electrical engineering I have to consider, along with the PO which are 12 number given to me. So if it is 4 number of POs, I have to consider 4 PEOs. And if we have the 12 number of POs, I have to consider all 12 number of POs, one at a time, right? So this first step is to consider these two, right? So I have decided what will be my PO. I have also written down my all POs. Coming to step 2. Now I need to analyze the PO. Analysis, when we write some outcome, that yes, the student will be able to work in a team, okay, or I'm writing student will be able to design innovative products as my PO. Now, when a student is able to design innovative product, that means he has got the knowledge about the product. He has got the skill to design the product. He has got the willingness, motivation, because if they are going to design a product, maybe the product may fail also, may be appreciated also, may be very cost limit. So there can be a chance of failure also in the design process. Now, when the student is having that attribute, that yes, he is able to take the risk, he is motivated to do that, he is confident of doing the same, then he will be a successful person in his life or her life, right? So when I'm writing any outcome or any objective for that is program educational objective, that objective must have 3 components. One is the knowledge part of that, the other part is the skill part of that, the third part is the attitude part of that. As I said, for this design component, there will be knowledge about the product, there will be skill of designing the product, and there will be attitude, that is willingness, taking the risk, motivation, accepting the failure. All those affective domain attributes are also needed, right? So when we analyze any program educational objective, these 3 components will be coming out, okay? Similarly, when you analyze any program outcome also, there will be again 3 components, because there is no outcome where knowledge is not at all needed, or where only skill is needed, no knowledge, no attitude, because doing something always related to knowing the how to do, again doing it, the skill and willingness or taking care, etc., of how to do. So always when we break any outcome, there will be 3 components, which are knowledge, skill, and attitude. But some outcomes are very, very like knowledge oriented. We call it cognitive outcomes, where maybe component of knowledge is high, but component of skill is less. But some outcomes are skill oriented more, so their knowledge is less, but attitude and skill is much more. Or when we are talking of the student will be able to work in a team, communicate each other, all those things, when I am right, it is more of affective domain, but there is component still exists of knowledge and skill, right? So any program outcome is having 3 components. So when we analyze those outcomes or the objectives, we must get the 3 components out of that: the knowledge part of that, the skill part of that, or attitude part of that, right? So this is just an example, right? If my POs are like this: apply the knowledge of electrical and electronics engineering to solve problems of social relevance and pursuing higher education and research. Suppose some institute for their electrical engineering department written the PO like this. Then searching, when he is writing apply the knowledge of, then what kind of knowledge an electrical engineer must have? So the knowledge of this will be required. Then the skill, what are the skills needed when the student will be established himself as an electrical engineer? Doing what? Doing solving problems of electrical engineering, but relevance to the society, or some of them are going for higher education. Then what are the skill components required? So it's a broader view of skill, not a very specific skill, because this is the topmost outcome, or this is not at all outcome, this is objective. So that's why, yes, if the student need to establish himself as an engineer, then after 4 to 5 years, he must be a very good position. Okay. So then analyzing the problems, solving the problem, application of software wherever it's needed, a new kind of software, or what is suitable where, all those things of those kind of skills will be known to, along with the communication skill, then reporting skill, etc. And then attitude also needed, because he is going to solve social problems but related to electrical. So understanding impact of technology in societal context must be known to him or her, appreciating the need for technological development, that should be, and commitment to professional ethics is also necessary. So these are the very broad, but it should not consider it the final one, because this is only to explain my concept to you. These are only the samples, right? So this is what we need to do: analyze the PEO first and find out the bigger domain of knowledge, bigger domain of skill, and bigger domain of an attitude component or affective domain component, which is needed for each PEO, right? So if it is 4 PEO, then 4 PO to be analyzed and find out the junk of knowledge, the junk of skill, the junk of attitude needed for that. It gives a broader idea of what will be the inside of your curriculum. This gives the futuristic mapping of your curriculum. Okay, so we should take care of the program educational objectives when we are going to design the outcome-based curriculum in this way, that is innovative way. That is the innovation, because in conventional curriculum, we don't think in that way. We don't think from that angle that yes, in future what my students will be doing, and future is also fixed, that is 4 to 5 years. I must see it properly. I must get the information from the industry. So my supporting document must be there that yes, 4 to 5 years, what are the industry where my students are placed, what they are doing exactly, how much they have to do, when they will be considered or appreciated by the industry or workplace leaders. I want that information to me as a faculty member, and then based on that, I will be analyzing the knowledge, skill, attitude. In my knowledge, if I see that yes, these are the subjects or courses which are today needed, like okay, IoT is needed and essential, say some others are essential, then I have to keep it, and I will be keeping it here in my knowledge component. Whether then I'll be using it as elective or what, that decision has to be taken afterwards. But while making it, first step, I am going to put it because he is going to establish himself as an engineer who is able to solve problems of social relevance and who is also can able to pursue higher education. That background is there. That's why. Right? So this is the first component. Similarly, when you have 12 POs, those 12 POs has to be analyzed. Okay? And one at a time again, because each of them are different. One is talking about the knowledge component, other is talking about the communication component, one is talking about the sustainability, the other one is talking about maybe the society and engineer. So they are different. And as it is different, you can see very well the demands of this will be different. Then the KSA, and better to remember ask, ASK, attitude, skill, knowledge, ask, right? So ask will be different as per requirement of each and every PO. There will be some common, some will be certainly common, but a few are there which are totally different. But we need to establish the link of that PO with my curriculum. If I have not established the link, then what will happen? Then that part will be not done by us. So there will be a gap. And then truly you will not able to map it, which is in the technical concept in your MBA point of view. But actually, your student will be missing that part. Okay, your student will be missing that part. So, who actually in the first up, you are asking me that how to find out the gap. This is how to find out the gap. If you analyze this, you will be very well knowing that what is essential for attainment of all the POs and PEOs and what is missing in your curriculum. Because from the curriculum, you have to analyze your existing curriculum, and also you have to analyze what is needed through these PO and PEOs. then the gap is very clearly visible, right? So one PO is also there, which was written like apply the knowledge of mathematics, science and engineering fundamentals and electrical engineering to the solution of complex engineering problem. So again, that I have analyzed through Ask or KSA, and then I'm getting that was a broader zone. Now this is little specific, but some are overlapping because my PO and my POs are by nature, this level is different, but by nature the contents are more or less same. So that's why this is also matching with my PEO. Okay. So here it is apply, and there they are applying, they are going to solve the social problem related to electrical engineering, right? So that is because unless they are able to solve complex engineering problem, they cannot solve the problems related to electrical engineering, but relevance to society, because that will be a complex problem, right? And here they are learning to solve the complex problem. That's why after 4 to 5 years, they will be able to solve the social problem. Okay. So this is again done, the KSA analysis of this, and find out what are the courses needed, what are the skills needed, and what are the attitude needed. Now going for the step 3. Now in the step 3, what I am doing, based on the KSA component of PEOs and POs, identify the course categories to be included in the specific program. So now you know the categories are there: humanities and social science, then basic electrical, core electrical, then electives of that, then common electives are there, open electives are there, all the categories are there, and this category concept is given by AICTE. So and it is means accepted, the concept of AICTE in the form of course category is also accepted by everyone. So identify the courses or course categories that has to be there in the elective in the specific program. There may be your percentage of elective can be high. You may think of that, yes, I want that in this specific direction, one group of boys will be going or student will be going. In the other direction, the other group, it is willingness of the students, what they want. Just like I can give you the example that some institutes are floating programs, say in computer science, but some specific electives are changed, given in such a way that when they will be coming out of the system, they will have a specific category of skill, like computer science with a designing skill, like that. So we can think of what are the categories to be included, whether we want this type of flexibility, because outcome-based education always asks for giving flexibility, choice to the student, right? Flexibility in terms of time, flexibility in choosing the subjects. So it is good that we should not restrict our students, give chance that they should opt for their own courses and can line up in such a way that they will be actually identified as maybe a particular skill will be with them. Okay, that provision can be there. So the course categories to be identified. Based on the demands of KSA components and identified course categories, now we need to decide the learning outcomes in a structured way. So then, once I have decided, suppose I have decided, yes, this will be my social science, humanities and social science category. Then what kind of ability my students will be, what type of learning outcome will be there. Suppose I am deciding communication paper is there. So what will be the components of communication which is expected of an engineer when established himself as a leader in the industry? Okay, so from that I'll be deciding what will be the learning outcome. Okay, so these will lead to selection of courses under specific program. Now I'll be deciding, okay, communication will be in the first year, and maybe this can also have some component in higher semesters. Maybe my management, because management is needed now, being an industry person, they will be required where to give it, how to put it, what are the outcomes needed in that category. So deciding that based on the demands of KSA. And that will lead us for selection of courses under the specific program. So once the step 3 is over, what are the things we got? We got the course category. We identified the courses. We also identified that, yes, how many courses will be required in one category, or what are the varieties of courses required in one category. That much we have decided. Now it is the time to decide the course outcome. Now, see, the difference in your conventional curriculum and this curriculum is that in conventional curriculum, content is prepared, and then we sit and try to write down what will be the outcome of that. Okay, that is in the conventional curriculum. And when we write outcomes out of that content, we think that yes, this is outcome-based curriculum. But basically, the concept is not at all there. The content is still not prepared. Only thing, the KSA of POs and POs are identified. And so junk of knowledge, junk of attitude, junk of skill we got. Out of that, we are now grouping those information and identifying the course categories. Okay, and then we are identifying what are the courses needed under that category. Up to that we have done. No content detail still developed. Now, once we got the courses, what are there, then it is the time to decide what will be the course outcome. Now, suppose I'm thinking of, yes, power system is a component or course to be included in the syllabus or curriculum. Now, the power system, I am going to write down as a power engineer what is expected from my student when he will be passing out and going to join the industry, and maybe after 4 to 5 years, he will be in a responsible position also. Then what are the things to be needed? I'm writing down all the outcomes. Now you know very well that when you are writing the outcomes, if it is a very big volume of outcomes you are coming across, but you feel this is needed, then what? Then we divide that into number of maybe our system 2 can be created based on that. Or you can give them a name like, okay, this is utilization part, this is some other part, like that. Right? So this decision is taken once you have listed out the outcomes. Then you divide outcomes and frame one course is sufficient or 2-3 consecutive courses will be required. Maybe semester 3 one, then next semester another maybe it will end in the 6th semester, right? Or maybe chain of subjects, like in my electrical, I can give like the student must have circuit theory, then signal and system, may go for control system, and then advanced control system. So the outcome is distributed through these 4 subjects or courses. So that decision I am going to take afterwards. Before that, I am going to write down what is expected, what is the outcome. Okay, then divided it into number of courses. So decide learning outcomes of each individual course, and you know now some limit is also there. So this is, we call it course outcomes, and nothing but a capsule. It's a big capsule which is enclosing all small outcomes as ingredients. Or I can describe course outcome like this, that yes, course outcome is nothing but the floor, and you have to arrive at that floor through the steps. So there will be small outcomes which will be dragging you, helping you, but the floor is one which is nothing but the course outcome. So course outcome, when we are going to write, it will be written in the form of a bigger one, not very small one. Like I can write, okay, solve problem. But in order to solve problem, applying something, I must know the theory of that. I must be able to know all the maybe the terminologies which are, I must be able to state any theory written there, or explain any theory, or deduce the mathematical relationship within that. So all these small things will be actually leading me to solve the real life problem. So if I am writing CO as that, then these small outcomes will be leading me to achieve that outcome, right? So this decision has to be taken by each individual, or for each individual course. Suppose I got a course of microprocessor, and I have decided, as per NBA, it's 5 to 6 in number, so let it be 5. And since this is for diploma level, so its limitation is 3 to 5. So, okay, I stopped writing 5. This I thought, yes, this 5 is okay for my diploma level course, right? So this decision taken, course content not designed still. This is the outcome based on the information of KSA, right? Once this is written, then what? Let me consider only the first outcome. So it's a very simple outcome for diploma level students of electrical, kept, describe the architecture. Now 8085 may not be there, you may think now 8086 must be there, not micro, this is obsolete now, right? So what it is, that decision you are taking based on the KSA analysis of your PU and PO. No industry is using this. So what they are using, you have to put it here itself. Otherwise, there will be a gap. If you need to give some basic information, you can keep it in the introduction part of that, but not reflected in the outcome, because that is the base needed. That can be always given, right? So coming to this, I'm considering this outcome, say. Now, what are the process we have done? If I want to give you a flow chart of that, then first I have identified the educational objectives. Then I have identified the program outcomes. Then I have identified the curriculum dimension through ask analysis or KSA analysis for all predefined objectives and learning outcomes. Predefined objectives because it is POs are there, learning outcomes because POs are there. And through this curricular dimension, which I told that course categories, identify the courses for attainment of this program outcomes. Okay. Now you can see there will be no course which is not at all mapped with the outcome. There will be no course which is not there for mapping of program outcome, because you have connected the program outcomes after analyzing with the courses. That's why there will be no course left out. So there will be expected no gap in this curriculum gap, because you are autonomous and you have followed the process of this outcome-based education, curriculum development of outcome-based education, and that's why there will be no gap in the curriculum. But the thing is, while deciding the PEO, you must be careful that your PEOs must reflect that ability of the student after passing out plus 4 to 5 years of time, right? Now see, yes, I have to give this very modern course, this lab to be there, and they must develop this type of skill because this is urgent for the industry. I got that picture. Accordingly, I have make the groups of courses which to be there. Categories are also identified. But then my location of this institute may be where all the expertise not available, or may be available but not today. Maybe after 5 years I will be able to develop that. So there can be some related issues. I want a very modern lab of maybe some advanced instruments to be there, costly instruments to be there. I presently don't have that funding, so I'm unable to do. But I have identified some institute for which we can have a collaboration, and my student can go and can have that also. That also I have identified. So there can be some issues related to learning teaching, or there can be some issues related to assessment process, because I told that this is aligned, constructive alignment must be there. So that's why these issues has to be identified, and you have to make a compromise, either not include now, you will be included in the maybe while you are going to revise your curriculum after 3-4 years, or maybe you will be putting it but thinking that it will be a collaborative work with some other identified institute or industry. That is up to you, but this thing need to be thought at this level before making the curriculum details, right? So this is done. After that, yes, these are the same thing. So considering these issues, now you are going to finalize the course learning outcome or COs. So if you have some issue, if you are not able to consider, you have to keep it for the time being. So finally, you are coming with what are the COs which is now possible, because COs must be, COs must be SMART. Okay, means achievable. It should be specific. It should be measurable. It should be realistic, and it is timely. Okay, so that indicates it should be SMART, and if it is SMART, then you have to remember that it should be realistic also. So you have to give that scope or opportunity to develop that CO, and you are unable, so you are leaving for the time being. Then you are finally deciding the course learning outcome. So I got a course learning outcome, describe the architecture of Intel 8085 microprocessor. Now it is the time to develop curriculum for me, because curriculum still not developed. It is only the outcome written in the curriculum, which is just in the opposite direction, because conventional curriculum first collect the content, write down it, then think of what can be the outcome. But I am coming from the other direction. I'm writing the outcome, considering all pros and cons of that, of the outcome which I decided about my student, and then I'm trying to develop the curriculum content, right? Now I told that yes, all COs are higher, bigger, like a capsule, keeping inside the components of small outcomes. So it is the time to find out those small outcomes. As a teacher, we know what are the things I should tell and students should learn and then able to do. List out sequentially all those small, specific, intended learning outcomes. We call it ILOs, intended learning outcome. And in my list, nothing will, I will not write that condition will never be there. I will write each and every small outcomes. It may be 20, it may be 15, because no part should be omitted, right? So suppose for CO number 1, I have written one after another sequentially all small outcomes, right? So I got, say, this is not the complete list. Say I got 12 number of outcomes, which I term as ILO. Okay, that is intended learning outcome. Okay, under a particular, and as I told, this is nothing but the steps. Through the steps, I'll be reaching the floor. That is, I'll be achieving the CO. Okay. So you cannot jump any floor. But another point you should remember, no step will be higher than the floor, because then you have to come down again, right? So that's why it must show the journey towards the achievement of CO, but no ILO will be higher than the CO itself. Okay? And you know this, when you write, we do it by what? Bloom's taxonomy, or not? So you know the 6 layers of thinking, 6 levels of thinking, who is higher, who is lower. So the CO level will be the highest level, and your ILO levels should go up to that level, never go above that, and never be such that you are in the downstairs and your floor is upstairs. Then how will you reach? So this is a checking. This is a checking for your CO-ILO mapping. Okay. Similarly, for the first CO, there is some skill part of that, because knowledge part, I told for every outcome there will be skill part, there will be attitude part. So skill is, yes, for my diploma student, they should be able to identify different components of the microprocessor trainer kit. But the component they must know. They need to study the architecture. So that's why this is our objective. They need to study the architecture of the microprocessor. So we have kept, yes, cognitive skill needed, analyze the architecture with suitable block diagram. Psychomotor skill, that is the skill part, psycho and motor. Okay, that means hand skill or leg skill or something, body part. And the head skill. Both are parallelly needed. They need to identify the chip, they need to understand or identify the pin configuration, bus line, etc. Social skill also, because they need to work together, they need to communicate their gaps, they need to communicate with, share their knowledge with the peers. So the social skill or the attitude component also kept here, this communicate with peers or teachers to clarify doubt or share knowledge, right? So this is other part of that. So consider that one CO is having these many parts, and these parts has to be identified before constructing the content, right? So the flow diagram becomes this. The intended learning outcomes under each course outcome, right? Start same. Okay, so flow diagram moving. Now, what is the next step? You can see, based on each ILO, I'm going to develop the content. So for each of my small ILO, there will be small content, because the teacher has to explain and the student has to do it after learning. So that's why then only a teacher can ensure learning, right? So there will be no gap in the teaching learning. Teaching all sorts of outcomes, learning or assessing all sorts of outcomes, right? So you are going to develop the course content. Now one sample is there. See, I'm constructing with respect to each of my ILO. I have considered this is the CO number 1. I can name it as unit 1 or module 1. That is my naming, whatever method you can follow. Microprocessor architecture can be given the name, right? And there I am writing all those outcomes. It may go up to 12 now I have written, it may go more than that also. And according to each outcome, I am thinking of what will be the topic and subtopics. So for each of them, I am thinking of what will be the topic and subtopics. So the component of the curriculum, you know that in the syllabus, the headings are written, no? That is topic and subtopics. So that part will be done in this way, which is mapped with each of the small outcomes, right? Done it. Once you have done it, now it is the detailed. Detail is very, means sometimes not confusing. Why? Because with our expertise, we decide the details. In the syllabus, sometimes it is written, okay, this part only, types of microprocessor, just. Then anything more, that decision has to be taken by the teacher himself or herself. Now, with our experience, we give our input. Sometimes we are not so willing to teach, so we give less input. Sometimes we are very dedicated, we give more input. So it varies. Instead of that, if we can put our thought in developing the curriculum, then what will happen? No, the depth and breadth of the curriculum will be well defined. The depth as well as breadth. So I'm not telling that depth should not be there. Depth must be there, but depth should be known to all stakeholders. And it should not be the wish of the teacher, right? So that's why depth and breadth, we call it T-shape. T is the breadth and depth is that T bar is that, okay? So this T-shaped curriculum must be formed. That's why depth and breadth must be clearly documented in the curriculum itself. So we completed that topics and subtopics. Now going for the content. Content under each topics and subtopics for each of my ILOs. So small ILOs are there, only very small, means definitions, means elaboration of a particular small theory. So that can be there, or there can be some other little long ILOs can also be there. So accordingly, suppose we are going for first CO, this. We are going for ILO number 8, this, where it is, this ILO is there. Now we are considering, yes, my topic which I got is registered in 8085. Now I am searching of, yes, under this ILO, is any factual knowledge to be given to my student, which are fact, which is true, which is available in the book. So find out that factual part. I found, yes, listing of types of registers to be told. Is there any conceptual knowledge to be given under that ILO? Yes, I have to develop these concepts. So I have written elaborately what are the concepts to be given under that. So conceptual knowledge is written here. What are the concepts? Right? And you know the concepts must be clear. Facts available in the book. Concept depends on how you explain. Then coming to the procedural. Is there any procedural knowledge needed for that particular ILO? Write down that part, the procedural, because this gives you that you have to demonstrate something while teaching. They have to practice it in front of you. So all these learning teaching concepts are coming based on the knowledge you are likely to provide. Okay. Then next part is that metacognitive knowledge. So can there be metacognitive is something that you say, like while teaching, you give some tricks which are not written in the book, which is your own knowledge. You experience the thing, so you shared the thing with your student. Solving problems, some tricks are used. Even to remember the color codes of registers, we give some rhymes, no? All those things which you give, created by you or created by the student, all sorts of, I should say, coding kind of thing, which helps us to remember the thing. Those are called metacognitive. Metacognitive, that is strategic knowledge, one's own knowledge. These are called metacognitive knowledge. So these also, if there is something, you need to give them that and identify that part, right? So this totality is giving me the content of this particular ILO. Now you can see very well the difference. In our conventional curriculum, this depth is never reflected. And here the depth is reflected, and which is helping us, what you know, which is helping us to decide what kind of teaching I should do, select. What will be my strategy of teaching? While it is factual, I can give the students an assignment. Refer the book. You go read and make a note on that, submit it as assignment, right? For conceptual, you need to do something. You have to explain. Procedural, yes, you have to demonstrate, but give them task assignment or something for practicing. Metacognitive, you can ask them to find out something so that they will be thinking by themselves. You can give some hints also. That is, teacher is thinking, students are also thinking together, right? So this will change the atmosphere of your classroom, right? Students will be motivated to learn. So based on this technique of curriculum, you will be getting several options to change your classroom situation from the conventional, sometimes very boring, as well as centric classroom to student-centric thinking classroom, which is needed for today. And this type of curriculum will help you to do that, right? Okay. So next is, so one notification is there, I don't know. Okay. One notification is there. So I don't know what it is. Yes, I will.
One of the participants. That is
Okay. So I am ignoring this now. If they need the material or something like that, that can be given afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So my flow chart is now over. Okay. Flow is over. I have developed the course content for the desired ILO, and I told how it is giving you hints for designing learning teaching as well as assessment process, even assessment tool, where I told that demonstration is needed. Your assessment tool cannot be a written test, right? Demonstration is needed then. Where you want that, yes, the student will be working together and they should have some metacognitive knowledge also. There you can give a group task also, assess through group task. So all this indication is coming out of the innovative design process, basically. This is the difference between conventional curriculum design and outcome-based curriculum design. Now you can see it will be very, very easy to map your whatever thing you are doing in the institute with your CO and PO. Mapping will be very, very easy and very well mapped. Number two, PO to PEO connectivity will also be very easy, right? Because of the process of this, because you have designed again following the same theory, that is from top to bottom, and you are doing it from bottom up manner. So, okay. If any question, I'm coming. I don't know what is the time. Okay. Yes, your time is now. So let's just me finish this. Yes, we have vision mission at the center. We have PO, and PSOs. We are going to analyze them, ask analysis. Okay. And this is helping me to determine the curricular dimension. And once the curriculum dimension is over, I'm getting the courses. Once the courses are there, I can decide the course outcomes. The course outcome will help me to prepare the ILOs under each course outcome. And that ILO will help me to develop the curriculum content. And this is what is the development of outcome-based curriculum. And that is what I wanted to share with you, the whole process. And yes, thank you for hearing, and you have your question open if you have time. Okay, then your questions can be placed here.
Madam, there is a question in the chat box.
Yes, please.
Is there any limitation in the number of course outcomes?
Yes, that limitation is given by our NBA, no, and we have to go through this accreditation process. So that's why I told it is 5 to 6 in number for your undergraduate course, and for diploma course it is limited to 3 to 5. But the thing is, yes, try to write all the course outcomes little higher. No problem, because your all lower outcomes or lower level outcomes, we call it lower order thinking, that will come under the ILO. So nothing will be omitted. You are keeping the higher in the top but all the steps will be very well represented through the ILO, right? So that's why it is not that always your COs must have a lower order, then little more, then little more. That is not the correct way of doing. You can put them higher, even from apply, analysis, and create level, but below that, the supporting ILOs must be there, which are just like I told, the stairs to reach the floor, right? So limitation can be considered, accommodated in this process. Is it okay? Yes. If it is any other, please.
One more question. How we will ensure that there is no gap in curriculum, considering a wide variety of career options which is available for a student after graduation?
Yes, a very, very good question. Very good question. Yes, this is there because there is several options. Several options. I agree. But the thing is, you have to limit in a broader sense. Like higher studies is one, and higher study will go for what? Either education or research field. The other group is maybe if you keep in provision the entrepreneurship, then that part is one part. And another part is there, which is for going for the, as an engineer, they will establish them in the industry sector, right? So at least these three can be considered. And then you think of what are the industries where normally your student used to go, find out requirement of that. And this is very broad sense. Just like you can see that a student will be able to apply their knowledge to solve real life problems. It's very broad, very broad. It's not telling real life problem in power system or in control system or in like that. So in a broader sense, we can do it. But if you want that, yes, my curriculum will be for those who will be going for maintenance engineer for them on, those who will be going for some other service engineer for them on, then it is not possible, because that umbrella will be a big umbrella when we cannot. So that's why at the top it is called that objectives, and objectives is little broader. The generalized concept, and generalized concepts are the thinking ability, analytical ability, problem solving ability, communicating ability. Okay, these are the very wherever they will go, they will be requiring this skill. So we have to take care of that. That's why this can be done. This is possible. Okay. Any other question?
There is a comment, nice and informative session. That is all in the chat box. Then participants, if you have any questions, you may also unmute the mic and ask.
Yes.
Ma'am, there is a question in the chat box.
Yes.
Ma'am, is it fine if we write CO covering all the modules? For example, practical problems to be solved after learning all the modules.
I'm not very clear about the question. Can you show me that written one?
Ma'am, I think what she has asked is, normally the one CEO will be pertaining to a particular module, topics in a particular
Okay. Yes. Okay. Module wise CO. This is easier for writing. That's why I know. But this is not applicable in this case. Why, you know? Because in this case, for existing curriculum, you are doing it. I told the content is already prepared, modules are identified, contents are prepared, and you are writing module-wise CO. But in this case, what will happen? No, COs will be first, then the naming module, and then the content of each module. Okay, and COs will reflect the PO and PO. So this is not that already content is with that. When we are doing it now, we are doing it like this because of content are available. So I have the content, and based on the content, I'm writing, okay, this is module 1 content. So what will be maximum possible by the student to do? I'm writing that as first CO. The next content, next module or unit, I'm writing it. But in this curriculum, this is not at all there, because I have shown you that you have to identify the courses and why the courses to be there. And that why is nothing but the CO. Why is nothing but the CO? Why control system to be there for electrical engineers? And why control system? I have to look back. What is needed by the industry? What is needed by the researcher? And based that, I will be writing the outcomes. And then I'll be deciding whether one course of control is needed, or I have to give one course for all, one course for elective. That decision. Then with respect to that CO, I'll be writing the ILO, and then I'll be designing my content or deciding my content. So it is just in the opposite way of looking, right? Now what we do, we have content, we write topic ILO, we write class ILO kind of thing. We are breaking in that way since the content is already there. And then what is happening, you cannot change the content. And that's why question is coming, content beyond curriculum. But that beyond word will not be there if I do it in from the other angle. Then everything I'll be thinking first, then developing the content. Okay? Right? Any other?
That is all, ma'am, in the chat box.
Okay. Okay. Then I think you have a lunch break now, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will be starting at 1:15, or what is the time?
1:15.
Right.
15 minutes past 1. Okay.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay, then I will stop sharing now. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Okay.
Participants, here it is. We will start again at sharp 15 minutes past 1 o'clock. Please be joined in time. Thank you all.